as we continue on with our digital agent, we've now got an opportunity to look at what does the consumer actually want in the digital inspection of real estate. And over the last 2 months, we've been showcasing some brilliant videos. Joel Davis was part of our program, and he showed you how he was doing his virtual tours for property management. And that really put the sales game into a whole spin of wow. Look at the detailed information you can now get. And joining me today is Tom. Tom, welcome aboard.
Hello. Hey guys. Hey Lee, thank you for having me here.
Tom, tell us a bit about yourself, your company, and what virtual tours you do.
Okay, Virtual Tours Creator started just over 2 years ago. We provide a software that allows pretty much anyone, especially agents or property managers or BDMs, to create a 360 walkthrough of any property as quickly as 15 minutes on an example of a 3-bedroom house for as little as around $5 per property.
Wow. Now, we've just done a virtual tour of the Real Estate Academy, and that virtual tour is living in this particular audio today, so people can have a look around the Academy. It did just take us, the time it took us to walk around was the time it took us to walk around, and the camera, we'll get some footage of that later on so people can see it, but this thing's tiny.
Yes.
It's no different to a normal little pocket camera. Tell us about the device and how it works.
So the camera is probably half of the size of your phone, so it's really handy for anyone, especially for ladies. It fits nicely in a bag. It's not bulky. It's got 2 lenses on each side. Each one of them is 190 degrees, and when you take one photo, it actually takes 2. But it allows then the app to stitch them together in a full 360 view of the property, and it takes half a second to do one photo of a room, so it's super fast. And while doing the photos of the property, it will eventually come down to how quickly you can walk through the property.
What I found interesting was you navigate and control the whole camera off your phone, so you can see what it is, you're setting the settings, so the app in your phone that's connected to the camera controls it.
Yes.
What is the cost of the camera? Because we've heard some massive prices of these big cameras all over the world that, yeah, it looks great but out of budget. What is a camera like this? What's the investment?
Yes, the initial investment is around $688, and that's just not the camera. It also includes a tripod, because you need to put the camera on something to have it in the middle of the room. But if you do have your own tripod, the camera itself is $539. So we think it's really affordable for what it provides. The quality of photos is around 7,000 pixels, which is massive. So as you said, great quality for property management or putting the property to the market. I designed this system to help with sales, but now it turns out it's great for everything: sales, property management, reporting.
And about us, like, look at for the people that have never been to Real Estate Academy, today you would feel you've been to Real Estate Academy versus just some gloss photos on our website. So about the company, meet the team. And I purposely didn't tell the girls we were walking around today. There was a couple of people out at lunch. It was a real live scenario of what that is.
Yes.
So the camera investment, we understand. It's very simple to use. The demonstration blew me away. It was like, is that it?
Yes.
That is it. You don't have to be a university tech to actually work it. And we'll go to this next stage. How do you stitch them together and where do you host them?
Okay, so we as Virtual Tours Creator host those tours for you guys, so you don't have to worry about anything. All you have to do is take the photos and then you upload them to our portal and connect them, connect each room with the other rooms using so-called called hotspots, which are arrows that let you click on them and then you can walk from room to room. So it's really easy. It probably takes 5 minutes to upload a 3-bedroom house and connect the dots. You can also add unlimited number of info points. So if you'd like to emphasize anything in the property that's important or can't be visible, like ducted and air conditioning or wooden floors, because sometimes from the photo you can't tell whether it's lino or wood, you can add all that information in. You can also add information such as how big is the fridge opening and save yourself time on answering all those questions from tenants or buyers.
What's really powerful about what you're saying here is I truly believe the whole real estate sales process is about to be flipped over. It used to be people would ring you, and say, when can I see it? Now, I've done a virtual tour, I've checked out my fridge opening, I know I can renovate on the second story, I've been out in the backyard, I can see it's dog friendly, I've looked at the fences, I've actually done a virtual true inspection because I could control, click where I wanted to go.
Yes.
Now I'm going to turn up and buy it.
Yes.
But I think there is so much more you can see and go back and see that's how you get the stickability to the property now, whereas a flat photo won't do that.
No, and the main thing about virtual tours is they allow people to view the property from the point of view of themselves, of what they want to see. Always when, real estate agent or a photographer, more importantly, presents a property, it's from their own perspective. So they will give you, the best shot of the kitchen, but you won't know what's in front of that kitchen. And if there's an ugly fireplace, and you go to that open house, it eliminates that property anyway, and it's not going to change anything. But if you're going to give those buyers or tenants that information beforehand, they can prepare themselves. If they like the property, they will come as qualified buyers or tenants. And the best, I just got an example from a new customer, John Edwards, that he listed his first property, two-story house, on the market with a virtual tour. And there was this one lady that said that she's not going to come to the open house for whatever reasons. When he sent her the virtual tours, she said she will come to the open house, and she came on Monday. And after 5 minutes, she said, I'm done. And he was, oh, well, you don't like it? And she goes, no, I love it, but I've spent hours and hours with my whole family looking at this house over the weekend. So she came just to see that it exists. She was ready. She signed up the documents on Tuesday. She came back to the office. It was the quickest sale and inspection he ever did. Amazing.
What's powerful about that is there's something else going on here. Total control is what the consumer wants. They don't want to have to ring 15 times to get every little answer that they want. And quite often you can't get back through the property. So for example, if I'm buying a home, I want my builder to see it. Not the building inspector, but the guy who's going to rip off the roof, put in the recording studio, the guy I trust. And I want to sit at home in front of my own plasma and say, right, Ian, let's go down here, look at that beam. Do you reckon we can remove that wall? And look at this one. What about that wall?
Exactly.
So I can have a walkthrough with my builder in my own time. We can take notes at home and make those decisions. But I had another salesperson say to me, Lee, the virtual tours, you think they're up to the standard of the marketing for the type of homes we're doing? And I said, it's changed. People don't want the gloss, Botoxed video. They want the real video because that's transparency. The drone works great and moving through, but just selling it to me. And what we're trying to do now is move away from push marketing to pull marketing. Exactly. And if we can pull them into every room, make a decision, I'm seeing the actual real thing here. It was done on a camera. That's a reality camera. I can make a real decision. And I think that's a huge transition in our sales transparency. And what you just explained to us now gives us the steps. The camera, okay, $500 or under $600. You've got the software to stitch it all together.
Yes.
It then is hosted. And when we say it's hosted, it's a certain type of file. What file is that?
It's just a URL link that you simply copy and paste to your CRM or directly to realestate.com.au or domain or all homes, whatever you're using. The same link can also help you with building up your online presence on social media. So you can copy and paste it to Facebook and use it for your social media advertising or just building content. And that will be much more engaging and interesting for people than just photos or videos for that matter. So that's another use of those virtual tours. And I just mentioned to you before that we have an agent, Lang & Simmons in, oh my goodness, somewhere in Sydney, I just lost the name of the, Sam Dalby. He just did his first 360 auction recording on Facebook. So this opens a whole new door for you guys, and that costs you nothing because this camera can also shoot 4K 360 videos and you pay $0 for that. Even if you don't use our software for creating virtual tours out of photos, you can make amazing, engaging 360 videos.
Now, that video file, you mentioned it was URL, but I can just cut and paste that, go to Facebook and just post it, and that will sit and play on Facebook.
Well, no, it won't play on Facebook. It will give you the highlight and the thumbnail of the tour, but then it's going to take you out from Facebook just to where the tour is sitting.
Great, so the tour is on your site,
Yes.
where they go through. We've also seen people putting your, let's call it your technology, in our webbooks now.
Yes.
So when we send out a webbook, we've got the gallery, we've got the contracts, we've got the floor plans. Now the virtual tour can live in there. How does that work?
This is the most exciting thing. We just got integrated with the webbooks. So all you need is the same link, and you post it in webbooks backend where it says virtual tour. You just copy and paste it, and that tour opens inside of the webbook. So if you're gonna send somebody a link to the webbook and they're gonna scroll through the listing of the property, you're gonna have a little window opening up with the virtual tour inside of the webbook.
That just shrink wraps it all together. The consumer's got control, and the more I interview the consumer, the more control they want, then they just want to purchase. The world has changed. An agent just ringing me all the time, telling me information is not the same as me having the information. I'm going to have my lunch and do a virtual tour of the property, and then I'll get back to you. So we're seeing that huge acceleration in how the consumer wants to consume the property content and information. Tom, how do our listeners, watchers get hold of you, and what do they need to do to get activated?
Oh, well, it's as simple as going to virtualtourscreator.com.au or getting with touch with Lee or his academy. You can also just ring my mobile because we have full Australian support. That's a very important thing for all you guys. We're going to hold your hand and we're going to tell you exactly how to do it. We're going to train anyone in your office to be able to do it, whether it's property or sales, property management or sales. Find us on Facebook or just jump to our website and give us a call or send us an email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.
Tom, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Lee.